10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the John DeVito Show. It is Wednesday. That's right. You know what that means. It's hump day. So I'm pretty excited. We're halfway through this week, and it has been, I don't know about you, but it has been a long week. For me, every year, the middle of January, the end of January is always kind of a very long time period for me because, you know what? We're a month outside of Christmas. And it's cold. I'm up to my nuts in snow right now. And, I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for summer. I'm ready for some better weather. I see Mr. A. I see Glenn coming in. I see Moon 16. Welcome to everybody coming into my show. And, hey, we're just, going to get together today, chat a little bit about some light topics, chat about making America great. I'm shocked that you found some things to make America great. I know. It's hard to find things right now that make America great, quite frankly. And that's not even really a political statement. It's kind of true that we have just so many things going on today. Now, if you are an investor in the stock market, do not look today. I will just tell you that right now. Do not look at what the stock market did today. And if you don't want to hear, block your ears, and I'm going to give you the skinny. Now, I'm afraid to even look at my portfolio. I don't want to know how much money I lost today or how much money we lost. But today in the U.S., the Dow Jones was down 633 points. That's right, everybody, 633 points. The NASDAQ was down 355 points, and the S&P was down 98 points. So I guess I can put... See, I did. I blew the suspense. I couldn't hold it in. And literally, I clicked on my account and I saw what the market had done. And I have no intention of logging in. I don't want to see the amount of money that I lost today. And I guess this is the new America. We talked about the new America, building it back better and stronger, or whatever the hell that campaign promise was. And today, we've lost who knows how many millions and billions of dollars in capital over today. And over the last week, we've seen the stock market down, many, many days in a row. But we'll get to all that stuff in a little bit. I'm not going to, continue to obsess over the stock market and all that good stuff. I mean, it just is what it is. These things happen, these type of days happen, and it's important for people not to panic. But like I said, it's, Massachusetts, it's cold today. Glenn, you know what I'm talking about. You're up in Canada. The cabin fever is starting to set in a little bit. And I think this year, cabin fever is like cabin fever on steroids. Cabin fever this year, because we had 10 months of COVID shutdowns. So we were locked in during the spring. We were locked in over the summer. We were locked in the fall. And now we've got more COVID shutdowns. And we are literally in the north freezing our asses off. So we are trapped inside. You're right. It's so cold that Celsius and Fahrenheit are equal. That's always a problem. Yeah, today, I mean, it's been a very, cold, miserable day. We got quite a bit of snow here in Massachusetts last night. And they're saying Friday is just going to be bitterly cold. I mean, this is what I don't like about January. I don't know why I live in a cold climate. I'm not a hockey guy. I don't bobsled. I don't curl, even though I know that Glenn curls, and I think that's cool as hell. I want to learn how to be a competitive curler. But if I do start curling, I've been thinking about that quite a bit, Glenn. I still don't know what I do. I can't see myself being the guy that like bends down with that curling stone and slides along the ice. Because again, I'm 6'4" and I weigh a lot, and I can't imagine that that's going to be too good of a look for me. I mean, I guess I could be the guy with the little squeegee that, shakes that thing back and forth like a crazy person, looking to speed up the stone or whatever the hell it's called. And I don't know. So you're saying you haven't curled in 18 years, man. That's a long time. I've never curled. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I can't see myself being any good at curling. And now look at Mr. A. Mr. A's talking trash. He's heading to that cabin in Tennessee. You told me about that. Mr. A is going to this unbelievable cabin in Tennessee. And I'm telling you right now, man, I am packing my bags tonight. You give me the address. You text me that address. I'll look and see how long it takes me to drive there. If you don't mind, I'll be super quiet. I'll just kind of hang someplace, quietly enjoying the nice weather, enjoying that beautiful cabin you have going on. And if you bring some tamales, I'll be twice as happy when that happens. Mike Tampa Bay, thanks for the gift. I do appreciate that. And, I want to talk about a bunch of different things today. My title was What Makes America Great? I've been thinking about that a lot lately. And, people that live in this country, and I'd love to hear from Glenn, because Glenn is not from this country. He's from Canada. If we've got anybody else in here that's from another country, or anybody that comes in from another country, I'd like to hear their opinion of what makes America great. Is it truly great? Is it just an illusion? Is it something that is tangible that we can touch and we can talk about? Or is it something that is just a figment of our imagination? I don't know. I've always believed since I was a kid in the greatness of this country. I've believed in the soldiers that defended our freedom in many different wars. I've believed that our country is a place where we have freedom. We have the ability to come here, and anyone, no matter where, what their background is, no matter what their poverty level is, they have the ability in this country to come in and to make a living for themselves, and maybe in some cases make a very good living for themselves. So, America, the idea of America has been something that has been sold to all of us from day one. We welcome immigrants, and that's kind of turned into a thing where we've kind of welcomed illegal immigrants, which I don't agree with. I believe it should be a legal path to citizenship in this country, and we should not have open floodgates to whoever wants to come in, because if that's the case, then we truly don't have a country. We just have, a fraternity where people are stopping in for parties and taking what they want and going on their way afterwards, But I mean, America has been the place, supposedly the shining light of the world. That's what we've been told. We are the leaders of the free world in the United States of America. Is it true? Is it accurate? Is that what this country truly is? Is it? And I see Mike from Tampa Bay made a comment. He said, a common Cosby rally around for America's fundamental truths with self-evident have become the unifying rally call to stand for something that is fundamental. Very good. Very good comment. You're right. And I think that that's true. I mean, I think that for many years, we broke apart, obviously, from England. We established this country. Our founding fathers had ideas as to what they wanted this country to be. And it has been a very good thing for many, many years. But do you think, are we getting away from what the intention of this country originally was? Or are we just adapting to the new world, the new environment in this country? Are we adapting, to the way the world has turned in the last number of years? And I don't know exactly how to even describe that. But I mean, you have to all admit, for people that have been around for a while, it is adapt. I love what you said there. And I said this in my show last night, that we hear a lot of people, talking about unity right now in this country. And like anybody else, I would love unity. I would love unity in this country. I would love to see everybody working together. I would love to see, and I would actually pay to see this, I'd like to see Donald Trump arm in arm with Nancy Pelosi, swaying back and forth and singing Kumbaya to America. I would love to see that. They can bring in Joe Biden to sing part of the chorus. They can have Mitch McConnell coming in, and he kind of looks like a turtle, so I'm not sure exactly what he could do. But I would love to see our leaders getting together, singing Kumbaya, and actually working together for the betterment of all of us. The problem is, I don't see that. What I see is a bunch of leaders that are in this for themselves. They are looking to line their own pockets. They are looking to advance their own beliefs. They are looking to decide for all of us what is best. And it's not a country anymore where the people who are supposed to be representing us are actually representing us. They are dictating to us. And that is a problem. That is a problem because these people are supposed to be the people that are the voice of the people. Instead, they are being the voice for the people. And that's not the way this thing was intended to be. So America, in my opinion, is a great country. I would not want to live anywhere else except someplace maybe with a warm climate. Thanks for the coffee, Christopher. I appreciate that. And I don't know why I called you Christopher. I know you're Chris, but I assume you're Christopher. So now that I know you better, I can go formal and call you Christopher. So I appreciate the coffee. Thank you very much for the gift. That means a lot to me. And, I don't know. I mean, I want our country to be great. I want to believe that our leaders at some point will come together. They'll work together and actually make a difference for the American people. I've literally got on my laptop right now like 15 different tabs open, all different things I was going to talk about. I may not talk about any of them. I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to go down the route of any of these. I mean, I was looking through all the executive orders that Joe Biden signed in his first week in presidency. Honestly, some of them are pretty good. I do like some of them. Other ones are very problematic for our country, and I don't agree with them. I mean, there are so many things that are happening. I mean, we're talking now about a new stimulus plan for the American people, all right? Trillions of dollars. We're talking trillions of dollars. Now, if we're spending $1.9 trillion on a COVID relief package, okay, shouldn't the American people be getting more than $1,400? $1,400. We're talking people that have been out of work for 10 months, 11 months. We're talking about businesses that have closed. We're talking about waiters and waitresses that have lost their jobs. We're talking about the American people are absolutely starving to death because they don't have money. They don't have jobs. And again, we can blame it on the pandemic. We know what it is. We know what happened. And again, the left has blamed Trump, for the pandemic. Obviously, he was in that lab in Wuhan, China that created that COVID virus. And he was probably working with the bats, and he's the one that released it on the world. So it's all Donald Trump's fault. We know that. We get it. If there was an earthquake in California today, we all know that was Trump's fault. Everything's on him. But, for me, I just look at what our politicians are doing for us, and it makes me sick. Mr. T, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I see people coming in as I'm ranting. And today, if anyone wants to call in, the phone lines are open. I'd like to have some people get on and chat with me and tell me what they would have to say. I get Erik Kirk calling in, so it'll be good to have him. Anybody else wants to call into the show? All right, we got El Gato calling in. I like that name. That's pretty cool. So,
AKA, or used to be, homeboy.
I mean, the title of my show today, What Makes America Great? Are we still a great country? Have we ever been a great country? And do we have the possibility of going forward and becoming a great country again if we're not now? So what do you guys think? What are your feelings on things? Erik, I'll let you go first, and then El Gato.
I know some. I mean, I think the direction this country is going in.
Oh, there we go. Okay, go ahead. I forgot to turn up my sound on the Rodecaster Pro, but now we can hear you, Erik. So start again. I need a producer to help me with my board. All right, go ahead, Erik.
Well, I guess the question is, we know that is the country going in the right direction, or if it's going in the wrong direction. I mean, I know, like we said, we're at least we're having these discussions that need to be had.
Yeah, and I heard a laugh in the background. I'm starting to wonder if I know.
That's homeboy.
That's what I thought it was. Well, I don't want to give away his name is coming in. But El Gato, what are you bringing to the table today, man? How are things going?
Hello, everybody. It's El Gato from Radio Tiro, the morning show in Boston. Anyways, what I got? That's my.
Well, El Gato, let me ask you a question. Now,
this is my new character, the morning show host, El Gato from LA.
El Gato, are you a fan of Nancy Pelosi? State El Gato, I'd like to hear, about your feelings about Nancy Pelosi. I mean, is she a girl? Do you like her? Do you find her attractive? What are your feelings on Nancy?
First of all, who's playing that spooky music?
Yeah, that's the
Is Michael Myers going to creep up on me and chop my head off?
That was Mike. Hey, Mike, I just muted you because there was noise. I'll unmute you when it's time for you to talk. But go ahead. Go ahead, Gato.
Am I a fan of Nancy Pelosi? No, man, I'm not a fan of anybody in politics, really. Come on.
They're all a bunch of crooks. They're all a bunch of crooks, you know?
Well, I don't know if they're all a bunch of crooks, maybe. But, like, to be an actual fan of a politician, hell no.
Hell no.
No way. I'll be a fan of Tom Brady. He's about to become the greatest football player of all time if he wins the Super Bowl.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on now. You know I'm a New England guy. He's about to become the greatest. I mean, he's already won 6 Super Bowls. I mean, right now, this is just gravy on top of the meal. He's already the greatest. How can you say that Brady is not the greatest? I mean, I'm sorry. You know, I love Joe Montana, but let's face it, Montana can't his jockstrap.
No. He's the greatest quarterback already. I'm talking about this will cement him. This will cement him as the greatest football player ever.
Interesting. Okay, now I've heard this argument before, and I saw a debate the other day about Tom Brady, and people are throwing out there he's the best athlete of all time, period. In any
athlete?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Like athletic-wise, I think Bo Jackson was better. He just blew out the guy blew out his hip, right?
Oh, he was amazing. Did you see him play? Do you remember seeing Bo Jackson play? I saw him play, and
really,
he was huge. I mean, this guy was just a physical specimen.
Man.
He played football. He could run around people and just run over everybody. Also, he could do it all. Baseball, same thing. Just amazing talent with speed and power. I mean, that guy he was amazing.
If John Henry jumped out of the fucking book and onto the field, it'd be Bo Jackson.
It's true, man. Bo Jackson was amazing. I think if you're going to be talking about the greatest athlete, also Michael Jordan has to be in the conversation. You know, over the course.
Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah,
Michael Jordan. I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this, but Michael Jordan mastered the game of basketball. That guy could do whatever he wanted when he wanted. Now, could he score?
Synonymous.
Right. Hey, Mike, I just unmuted you, so we should. It sounds like some of the background noise is gone, so hopefully we can hear you a little bit better now. But, for basketball, you know, I was a guy that, you know, again, I'm older, so I've seen a lot of different players play. I've seen Magic Johnson, I've seen Larry Bird, I've seen, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I've seen Larry Bird, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and still, in my opinion, Michael Jordan's the greatest player to ever play basketball, and I still will take this to my grave that I believe that Larry Bird was a better basketball player than LeBron James. I know that no one's going to agree with me, but unless you saw Larry
you're
Bird,
a Bostonian, bro. Come on.
Well, you had to see him play. I mean, Bird was a guy that
he was great.
But if you didn't see him play, he was a guy that literally he could have scored 45 points a game if he wanted to. But when he came out, he made everyone on the court better. He passed to everybody. He was a rebounder defense. He was a winner like Tom Brady. I mean, he brought so many things to the table. I mean, LeBron's a great player, but if you look at the two compared, they were very, very comparable as far as athletes go. And, you know, I never mentioned Kobe Bryant. I didn't love Kobe Bryant as a player. I know you're a Kobe fan, but he was a great athlete also. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd have to say that if you're talking Tom Brady has to be one of the top 5, maybe, or 10 greatest athletes, period, in history. You know, I don't know.
John DeVito, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If they had a 3-point contest of 100 balls, Steph Curry in his prime versus Larry Bird in his prime, who wins?
Well, it depends. Now, I think that for a period of time, they had moved the 3-point line in the NBA. Now, is the 3-point line back out where Larry Bird used to shoot from? I don't know if it's back to the level. If we're talking about the 3-point line that Larry Bird used to shoot from, I think you'd see Larry Bird doing pretty good. I mean, Steph Curry, though, is an incredible player. Great 3-point shooter, incredible basketball player.
Steph Curry still shoots from, like, almost half court, John.
He does.
So.
But see, one of the differences is, and people don't see this, you know, in today's NBA, is in the NBA today, part of the game is to constantly shoot 3-pointers. Back in the Larry Bird era, it was about working that ball in and shot and you took the threes when you needed it. I mean, you'd see
Right.
players in the NBA, they would maybe take 100, 150 3-pointers in the whole season. Now you see guys that are shooting like 700 3-pointers in the course of the season. So the whole game has changed a lot.
And the defense was more physical, so they would get in your face, they would jump in your face. Now they fucking do a little finger point and foul. You can't do that.
So let me hear your prediction. So what is going to happen in the Super Bowl? We got KC against Tampa Bay. A lot of people are saying Kansas City's going to win. Mahomes is a great quarterback. Who's going to win the game? What do you think?
Well, they also said that the Green Bay Packers are going to win, didn't they?
Exactly.
Didn't they?
I know. That's one of the things that you always have to look at is you can't forget
this guy
about the Tom Brady factor. The guy finds a way to win. He finds a way to make his teammates better. He finds a way to make his team better. He's anywhere out there on the field. And let's not forget now, this Super Bowl is going to be a home game for Tampa Bay. They're letting in over 20,000 fans. This game is going to be in Tampa Bay. And I think that it will probably be a pretty tight game based on all the Super Bowls Brady's been in, because he never blows another team out. It's always like a close game, like kind of like a type of thing where you feel like you're going to have a heart attack by the end of the game. But I think you have to look at the fact that Brady has the best receiving corps in the NFL. They have a good defense that stops the run. The defensive backs maybe aren't quite as good. They get a great run back. I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. So, I mean, my pick would be Tampa Bay. I think they're going to win it.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think Brady's going to pull it off, and it's just going to be we're going to be talking about Tom Brady for the next 2 weeks and all this shit. What Tom Brady should do, and this is just me, El Gato, what I would do if I was him. As soon as they win the Super Bowl, he gets the football, right?
Yep.
He puts gasoline on it. He lights it on fire. And he kicks it into the crowd. He says, "Good night, motherfuckers."
Well, I mean, you look at Tom Brady. If you believe in karma, I know you're a California guy, all that new age stuff. We're East Coasters here, so we're a little bit different in our thought process sometimes. But if you look at Tom Brady, man, he is 6'5", as hell, the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. He's a multi-millionaire, and then he marries the most beautiful underwear model in the world, who happens to make more money than he does. And I mean, if you think about what this guy has been given in his life, it's just amazing how everything in this guy's life has been into place. Now, here's a little funny story. I mentioned this the other day. I have a lot of friends. I see Mr. T, cheater. I knew that was coming.
Are those his real teeth too?
They are. There's real teeth. And I'm going to really deflate all of you right now. You want to talk lucky bastard, Mr. A. One of my good friends is a sportscaster, and he goes in and gets sound from the Patriots and the Red Sox and the Celtics. He puts his microphone in, gets interviews, and gets to go into the locker rooms. So, of course, he went into the Patriots locker room and got a nice gander at Tom Brady coming out of the shower. Let's just say that Tom Brady have been given do not end when you see him on the football field. Apparently, Tom Brady is equally blessed there as anywhere else. So Tom Brady, in addition to being a great quarterback, being married to Giselle, being a multimillionaire, apparently is packing some pretty solid heat as well.
God shoot me right now, okay? God.
Mike from Tampa Bay, greatness. He's got it all, man. He's handsome. He's packing. He's got everything, man.
Apparently, he feeds it a carrot, and they go.
Oh man. So hey, up here in New England, people are angry. Some people are angry. Some people are salty. Some people, it amazes me how loyal people have been to Belichick up here. I mean, Belichick and Kraft basically ran Brady out of town. I mean, they gave him no weapons. They didn't offer him a contract, and people blame Brady for that. So I don't understand why that's the case. For me, I'm rooting for him 100%. This weekend, I'm a Bucs fan. I hope they win. I hope Brady wins his 7th ring. And to me, that would make me very happy as a Patriots fan to see him win in another city. And, for me, I'll always be a Patriots fan, but now I'm a Bucs fan also, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks. So February 7th, that is right, is the thing. So, homeboy, what are you up to? I hear you out there making deliveries.
And also, I know we're in politics. We can switch right back to that because we're professionals, ladies and gentlemen. But I want to stay with sports and ask you this.
Yeah.
So I think it was NBC. Was it NBC? Well, no, ABC. ABC used to host the Wide World of Sports with Cassell. What was his name? Shit. I threw a blank. Howard Cassell. Howard Cassell. The Wide
You're
World
going
of
way
Sports.
back.
Yeah. And Muhammad Ali used to box on there and everything.
Welcome to Sports. This is Howard Cassell reporting on Muhammad Ali, the greatest fighter in the history of boxing. Yeah, that's Howard. I remember him.
This is Howard Cassell. I'm here with John DeVito on the John DeVito Show. Did you find that the UFC was the first time ever on ABC? The UFC was on ABC. Did you see that fight? Probably not.
Hey, I did not see it, but the UFC deserved to be on ABC because, to be honest with you, if there was a choice between boxing and UFC, I'd rather watch UFC. I mean, I find it fun to watch. Those guys are just warriors, man. They're badasses.
You missed it. It was a free fight on ABC. Well, it was a whole card, and Max Holloway put on the performance of his life and just dominated Calvin Kattar from Boston. Sorry, John DeVito. Sorry.
That's all right.
But it was a great showing for the UFC because it was it was on American Broadcasting Company.
Wow,
Is that what it's called? Channel?
Very
American
good.
Broadcasting Channel? I don't know. So as a UFC fan, I was very proud that they performed like that. It was a great fight. And it's too bad that you don't watch it, though, John. It was a good fight.
I watch it occasionally. Like if I'm flipping through the channels and the UFC's on, I'll stop and I'll watch it. I don't go out of my way to watch it, but I should more often because I do enjoy it. Now, let me ask you now. I'd like to actually start promoting some UFC fights. And the first one that I'd like to have is I want to have you fight somebody. And I'm trying to I try to think about who I'd match you up against. I mean, I'm thinking I don't know if Erik Kirk would be up to it, but we can have like Homeboy and Erik kind of duke it out in the cage. Erik, would you be up for that?
No, I couldn't do it because I like Erik and I couldn't hurt him.
Well, who would you want to
I couldn't.
I don't know. I could see Erik surprising you with, he'd come out and start raging on you. And
imagine.
Your face up against the cage, man.
But I walk all day, so I might just prance around for 2 rounds, let them gas out, and then pop. You know what I'm saying? But no, I wouldn't do that to Erik. Let's see. Can you put me up against Milk Dog?
Now, all right. I don't know how to.
Oh, no, he's on a wheelchair. Never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's where I was going next. I was like, so, you're volunteering to fight a guy in a wheelchair. That's the type of guy you are.
No. That's all jokes. That's El Gato morning show in the morning.
Mike from Tampa Bay, you do know I am in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen in my house. I'm looking at my daughter, who has just come into the kitchen. She's carrying a chicken and about to put it on our counter with a towel so it doesn't poop on our counter. So that's what's happening in our house. We got.
I thought it was like a fried chicken. It's a real chicken?
Real chicken, not fried chicken, a real chicken.
Oh, my God.
There's no fancy boxes, no Popeyes. It's a real chicken. So, yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on in our house right now.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to have chickens in the back, right, and a rooster.
Yep.
And my grandpa was like, hey, we're going to have chicken tonight. I'm like, oh, cool, man, we're going to have chicken. Hell no. He went out to the backyard, and you know what he did, John DeVito.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, I grew up in New Hampshire, and one of our neighbors had a farm a couple houses down.
Yeah.
And he would call me and ask me if I wanted to come over and watch him kill the chicken. And I was just like, no, dude, I don't want to watch that. No.
No.
I'm interested in seeing that. So.
I was traumatized. And you know what? Everybody, if you've never seen it, it's true. It is like a chicken with his head cut off running around.
It is. Hey, Jess Duck, welcome to the show. And actually, I think probably some of the background noise you're talking about, if you're not familiar with El Gato, he's out doing his delivering packages. But no, it's okay. I don't mind. You're always welcome here. You know that. I know you're all busting your ass.
I'm sorry.
Let me ask you one quick question.
And then I'm going to hop off.
Well, no, if you had the opportunity to, all right, if I was going to donate $100,000 to the charity of your choice, but the thing that you had to do in order to get that money donated was you'd have to sleep with Nancy Pelosi. Would you do it?
This guy with the Nancy Pelosi, I swear to God, man. You are obsessed with Nancy Pelosi, sir.
I am.
Listen, I know you don't like her. I know she went to the beauty salon without a mask. Okay? I know she was Donald Trump's arch nemesis. If he was Batman, she would have been Joker to you. I know all this.
Well, see, now the problem is, honestly, and I think a lot of people on the right would tell you this, I don't think people are angry that Nancy Pelosi went to a salon without wearing a mask. What makes Republicans angry is when Nancy Pelosi goes to a salon without a mask, and then she preaches to the rest of the country what we should be doing when she doesn't follow her own rules. So I think that's why people hate Nancy. You know, so... All right, I see Chris is making a comment down there. I'm going to read that in a second.
All I know is this. Listen, everybody, and I'm going to leave with this. I know Mr. Funny, haha, El Gato, haha, he. But I'm going to say this. Listen, okay? I gave up. I don't give a shit if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, a Patriot Party. I don't give a shit anymore. Listen, man, I'm not going to judge you by that. That's not something I'm going to judge you by. I'm going to judge you by your character, and that's that.
You know what? And what you just said is exactly on target. Because in order, in my opinion, to make America great again, we've talked about this on the show many times, we need to come together. It can't be California versus Boston. It can't be left versus right. It can't be black versus white. It can't be gay versus straight. We need to be a unified country.
Wait a minute here. Before I go, who wins in the war, California or Boston?
Well, it depends what type of war you're talking about. Now, if you're talking about a drag-down fight, I think Boston would kick the shit out of the people in California. But if it comes down to, you know, who surfs better, or who sunbathes better,
get out of here, bro.
You know, that would be California would probably win that deal, I guess.
Well, guess what, sir? Before I leave this upcoming year, we're going to settle this on the court. We're going to see who wins 19 championships versus 19 championships, LA versus Boston, sir. And we're going to see who wins that. And I'm out.
Now, hold on. Don't be out yet. Don't be out yet. Oh. Now, I think you should set a little wager because the Celtics are looking pretty good right now. And I'm not talking about a financial wager. I don't care. You know, money doesn't matter. I want some type of wager maybe that you and I should have.
2 golden mics.
Okay, we could do that. We could do something like that. So 2 golden mics. Okay, 2 golden mics, and then on top of that, you would, if the Celtics win, or I should say when they win, you would have to come on my show, and you would have to spend an hour on my show telling me how handsome I am, how intelligent I am, how wonderful I am, and how I am superior to you in every way. And then I will come. If the opposite happens, I mean, if some miracle happens and the Lakers happen to win, and you know, LeBron is now making political statements, and they happen to win the championship against the Celtics, then I will come on your show and I will do the same to you. Of course, we know that I already think you're wonderful, but I would come on and even, you know, come on your show and just say what I need to say and let everyone know, you know, how special the boy is, or El Gato, I should say.
I'll get back to you on this bet.
All right. Let's think about it. Let's think about it. Come up with a bet.
I mean, we got a whole long time.
Right.
You know, so.
All right, my man. It was good to have you. I'm glad you stopped in, El Gato. And and hopefully if you see Michael Jackson again sometime soon, let him know I'd like to talk to him again. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more.
Bring him out of retirement.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah. Well, and definitely El Gato's got to come to Trice Talk tonight to sing the birthday song to Dennis Lee.
Oh, Jesus. I might be asleep now.
11 p.m. Eastern time.
Ooh, that's late for me. Try to make it up and get in, like, wish me happy birthday. But hey, let's get back to what we were talking about a little bit. You know, I wanted to talk about America.
Thanks for having me on, John.
Hey, pleasure to have you, buddy. You know you're always welcome, and I'd love to have you on anytime you call in. So thanks for coming. So I'm scrolling back up to Chris. You want to know what makes America great? Well, I know one thing that helps, and I think he's going to the weed card. Americans need to sit down, relax, smoke a little weed, and listen to John Lennon Imagine, and then reflect and carry on in peace. You're right. I mean, you know, I agree completely that I'm a guy that does occasionally like to partake in my edibles, and I'm a guy that does like the weed, and it does certainly help me calm down a little bit. But I agree that I think that we have to find a way in this country to get people together and work together. And if that's what it takes to do so, then we need to do it. Hey, that's good. Welcome to the show, Bards. I appreciate you coming into my show. And if that is the real Bards, you have a great show, and I'm proud to have you in here. So welcome to my show if it's, in fact, Bards FM and not a troll coming in to tell me how much my show sucks. So, and again, I'm a little embarrassed. I have online envy when Bard comes in. You go into his show, he's got 700 people in his show live, and I've got 10. So maybe you can send some people my way and get my numbers like a solid 12 or 13. That would make me happy. So anyway, so Mike T, I got you up there patiently, man, and you've been kind of hanging in there. Did you have anything you wanted to say when you called in? I mean,
you got to unmute him.
Oh, is he still muted? I thought
it's show muted on my end.
Oh no, on mine it says he's unmuted. So let me click again. I'll click mute and unmute. Now he should be unmuted.
There, he's back.
Okay, yeah, he was unmuted.
My speech was violated. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
How are you?
I totally took away your freedom of speech, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it.
I know. I'm I'm being traumatized on all fronts.
Oh, man. So welcome to the show. What's going on, man?
Thank you. No, I just I was on your podcast last night, and you have your voice just it's reigns true, man. You speak a lot of self-evident things we experience. It's greatness and things that we struggle with in this country. What is greatness? That's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Very good question.
And yeah, you have to wonder. I was thinking about it a lot, because we've been told from day one, we're the greatest country in the world. We are the beacon of freedom. We are the country that the rest of the world looks to for leadership. But is it true? Is that all something we've just been fed? Is it something that's actually true? Is it something that we have to continue to make true as we go forward? And it just makes me wonder,
what is
America
truth?
Great?
Yeah. Yeah, what's the truth? Like something that's fundamental, foundational, in which that evidence is standing on. So it's firm and solid. Truth is undeniable in a sense, right? So our founding fathers understood that we would try to make a more perfect union, leaving in the ability to have compromises. But this has gone way beyond our identity and what we were founded on. It's it's just amazing how our interpretation of one side, polar opposite to the other. It's just night and day from what's going on right now. It's insane. It's definitely lost its power and name. It's being I don't know. It's amazing.
No, it's so true. I think that what we're seeing right now too. What we're seeing right now, too, is that our country is always nothing more than one generation away from losing our freedom and losing the many things that we have. And a lot of people make very small things about, 10 years ago, I was driving people crazy with the whole Merry Christmas thing. And for me, it honestly wasn't even about saying Merry Christmas. I could care less. Someone says season greetings, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever. I don't care.
Expressive
But when
talk.
my government right, but when my government starts telling me, you know what, when you say Merry Christmas, you're going to offend somebody. You can't call it a Christmas tree anymore. It has to be a holiday tree. It has to be a holiday party. They have to be holiday presents. When my government starts telling me that I can't say certain things because I'm offending other people, and they're taking steps to take away my freedom of speech and my freedom as an American, that's when I have a problem. And I don't care what they're talking about. And I don't care if it's the left or the right. If you've got the right that's telling me that you can't say this, you can't do that, guess what? We have a problem. We have a problem. And I think as Americans, we can't sit back and let these things happen, because if we sit back and we don't, fight, and we allow the government to continue to dictate to us what's going on, then we have a problem. Now, we're kind of seeing, in my opinion, right now, the deep state, the left, whatever you want to call it, they are looking to drive a stake through the heart, like I said last night, of Donald Trump. They're looking to drive a stake through the heart of the Trump supporters, who are nothing more than a
How do you contain? How do you contain freedom? Like the sovereign, we're self-aware of our oneness and the truths that we share. That it conflicts right now with what's going on in Washington. Obviously, it's night and day, but it's our freedom to express. If a government wants to condense and consolidate, like cities, how they group people together, it's easy to control their minds and habits, and they're the ones dictating how that how they see fit, but a free nation spread out, a union of states independent like us free people have the right to wield their own laws, separate federal states and the union, how we can express. But, we have the foundations of freedom of speech. The first thing that we do when we come out of the womb was cry or speech or the sound of life. And it's the first thing, right? And it's, it's foundations. They're taking the freedom of speech, then our Second Amendment to defend ourselves. So from death, it's just, it's a mind of the battle and the will of the heart too. And how we're going to consolidate our thoughts and believe what we're told, or are we going to stay open and allow ourselves to reason together like envisioned?
Right. Well,
deep.
I go tricky, man. They're tricky. They don't just come out and say we're taking away your freedom of speech. They create this thing called political correctness, and with political correctness, they tell you, well, that is inappropriate. This is appropriate. That's inappropriate. You can say this, but you can't say that. And
on what authority? Yeah.
Obviously, you shouldn't come out and say things about different races. You shouldn't come out and say things about gay people, whatever. But when you're going to the PC movement is nothing more than censoring free speech. And it's the same thing with what happened recently. The Capitol riot. I mean, again, they keep calling it a riot, but I saw guards opening up.
That's crazy.
And welcoming people in. Come on in, everybody. You're welcome to come in. They were waving people in. Then they called it a riot. Right, come on in, everybody. Come in, and you see people taking pictures inside and everything else. It didn't look like a riot at the very beginning to me. It maybe got that way eventually, but I mean, the people were welcomed in. But now, what we're seeing from the left is very similar to political correctness. We're seeing them coming out and say, "We're going to impeach Trump. We're going to drive him out. We're going to label anyone that supported Trump as a redneck, as a racist, as misogynist, as someone that hates America." When in fact, I saw nothing but people with United States flags who were respecting the flag, respecting our country, saluting our president, and singing the national anthem. But now this group is telling America that these people are the people that you need to be afraid of.
They're telling, but are we listening? Are we listening?
Looking at the chat, and you got to look at the chat, Mike.
Yeah.
I see that Adolf Hitler.
My bad.
That's a troll.
I know it.
I had no attention.
It's okay. Adolf Hitler is here, and he said John DeVito is a member of the Third Reich. Rednecks will now down to the empire. Now, obviously, I thought Adolf Hitler would be a little bit better with his English because he's not much of a writer. So, Adolf, I think you may need to install spell check or something when you come in and talk.
Well, I think as far as Adolf Hitler is concerned, that was an evil man who murdered 6 million Jews. Yeah. Lest we forget.
Right.
And we don't.
Yep.
And we don't subscribe to Hitler either.
Sorry.
Well, and and the thing is the reason why the trolling has gotten back up. We think it's a lot of Bard supporters, and if you haven't listened to Cummings' Culture, Bard's FM show is a cult, and talk about this upcoming storm. That was a quote taken out of some sort of game.
Hey, the way I look at it, man, good for Bards. I mean, Bards has got a show where he gets 700 people in. If any of his people want to come in,
Fortnite is the name of the game.
Yeah, if people want to come convert them and rag on my 9 listeners, go for it. I'm not too worried about it. And now I've got someone coming in saying some inappropriate things. We're just going to leave it there. I appreciate the engagement points you're giving me by coming into my show. And unfortunately, you choose words that shouldn't be used. But again, I'm not going to censor you. This is a free country. And if you want to come into the show and you want to make your screen name something like that I feel is incredibly inappropriate, and that's on you. And I'm sure that if we decided to report you, you'd be tracked down by Podbean, through your IP address. But we're not going to bother doing that. So, you come in, you can use nasty names, but I appreciate the engagement score that you bring into my show. So thank you very much for all that.
I love you have great management skills. I can tell it right now. I'm in sales as well, and it's you can definitely tell you've been in sales.
What do you do in sales? What do you do for a living?
I work for a wholesale company distributing for weddings. I worked for a production company for 7 years. I do photography, and also I just getting more involved politically, but not necessarily politically because I don't have a conflict with our founding. So it's just speaking truth like you're doing. That's what you drew me into this, because normally I wouldn't subscribe to just someone's, I don't know, you just some things hit home last night, and it's, you're speaking truth it's obvious because it's truth. It's real.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I like the troll that just came in. Ours is on. Can you please get offline?
I mean, if you ignore them, they'll get tired of you eventually.
I think that's funny. I like it.
I mean, you might think it's amusing, but you're just enabling them to do it even more.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't take it personally. I appreciate the fact that Bards comes in and does this show. And the way I look at it, with him coming onto this platform, it's good for everybody because he's bringing more people in. The unfortunate thing is, though, when you have a show like Bards does, you have really smart people that come in, and then you also have people that come in that have a very low IQ. And, again, you get some people like some of the people that are coming in now that are obviously on the lower end of that IQ spectrum, and that's okay. You can't feel you can't feel.
And another way I look at it, too, Podbean was not intended to be a podcast version of Facebook.
I know. Well, that's why I'm double.
Yeah, because because you might go into some shows that don't publish their shows, but instead of them having like substantive conversations, it's kind of a shit show to where they're always talking about how their lives are going, and how they're what's the word, what they're doing for the day. When if you look at shows like yours, John, and it's slightly serious, and the friends over at VOP USA Radio, that we're engaging in substantive conversation.
Right. I mean, that's all we can do. I mean, as American people, I mean, let's face it. I've got this small little podcast, and again, I've got a small little audience.
Not for long. Big.
I hope not. I mean, I do enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. Well, I hope so. I mean, for me, I come on.
The way you're talking, you will.
Well, I try to speak the truth as I see it. And I see a lot of things happening in this country that I don't like. And I think that we need to change a lot of things in this country. But again, we are what we are. We're people speaking on podcasts. We're people speaking on social media. But you have to remember, I mean, the politicians that we have in this country, they're being controlled by the ultra wealthy. I mean, some of them are the ultra wealthy. And they, I think we all think that they give a damn. Honestly, what we think.
I love that.
Yeah, but they don't care. They don't care what we think, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and they just want us to conform and accept it. But I think as American people, we have to continue to speak out, and we have to continue to demand that our government steps up and supports what we're saying.
First line of defense. Our voices, our speech.
I'm sorry, I'm enjoying
First Amendment.
So, DeVito's dinky dick into the live studio. So welcome to the show.
What a dinky!
I love it. Oh man! So
oxymoron or whatever you are. Yeah.
So now, what do you feel, what's your feelings, Mike? I mean, after what's happened over the last few weeks, we got Joe Biden in, and I give Joe Biden credit. Joe Biden told everybody, hey, you know what? Trump mismanaged COVID. He didn't do his job. I've got a plan. I'm going to show you what we need to do in order to fix this COVID problem. And I give him credit. He's been in office now, and it's been, we're getting into the, into the later part of his first week. And he declared that you had to wear a mask in federal buildings. Of course, I don't really go into federal buildings very often. And then the second thing, his right-hand man, Dr. Fauci, who can apparently now talk to everybody, is saying, what we need to do is we needs to wear 2 masks. I mean, that's brilliant. What I'm going to say, I'll tell you, I'm going to take it a step further. The DeVito Show, you heard it here tonight. What I want to do is to eliminate COVID, everyone needs to wear 6 masks. Forget about 2. Let's go right to 6. Let's jump up and let's have 6 masks on every American, and COVID will be gone in no time. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for your brilliance in the problem that we have, So
that was interesting how that placement of the word feelings. My feelings have at times betrayed reality in a lot of my life experiences with the government and what I perceived to be power or a position of governance that I thought I had an idea of what that meant. Right. And come to find out, it's flipped on me, and that's okay because it helped me understand, different factors that play a role. Politics, parties having or wanting power. You know, they're just they want to dictate. They want to control. And I think Joe Biden has been played, I guess, by his people, his circle. I'm assuming has influenced him, or lack of influence. I don't know, but leadership, you know, you can sense leadership, and it drives people. It keeps people, you know, still watching his videos on YouTube, where you just click off after 3 seconds because you don't know what he's saying, because, you know. But you know,
my favorite one is when he called himself kitchen table. As a kitchen table, he said at one point in one of those videos. That's one of my favorites. But it's true. I mean,
I had to separate my feelings from facts, because feelings can cloud judgment, and if we keep hatred and fear and all of this that clouds our view, can stop us from seeing what's right in front of us, and that's what you're doing, speaking truth, unifying with our voices, and listening to each other. And someone has a debate, or they feel something's not right or something's wrong about that. About your opinion, that's just, let's reason together. Let's talk. Let's not shut us down and control our abilities to freely navigate this world and understand it and what's around us. So,
yeah, it's true. I mean,
it's basics.
I think it's important for us as people to pull together and continue to talk about the things that we need to do to improve this country. And again, as I've said many, many times, you know, we've got a country of 336 million people. You've got 537 politicians that are telling us how to live our lives. And it's time where we finally come out and we need to dictate to our politicians that, number one, you're here for us. We're not here for you. Number two, we need term limits for everybody. We need those congressmen out of office. You can't be there for 40 years, because once you've been there for 40 years, you're no longer a representative of the people. You are basically a king, you're a queen, you're a dictator, you're a monarch. And it's one of those things where, you know, it just can't happen until we make those changes, until we remind politicians that they are here for us. This country's not going to change, because again, even if it's not the left controlling, it'll eventually be the right controlling. If you have one side or the other, it doesn't really matter, because then we are still all subservient to these gods that are controlling us and controlling our lives and making decisions for us, telling us what we can say and what we can't say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the illusion of power is crazy. Great, yeah. I'm sorry,
2 minutes. Let's see. Mr. T said,
10
but
match.
Is there really unity? I am for it, but there's a huge gap. You know, that's one of the things, Mr. T. I don't know if you were on my show last night. I couldn't sleep last night. I was up late, so I did a show at like 11 o'clock Eastern time last night. And I talked a lot about unity. And that's one of the things, you know, Joe Biden has been calling for unity. He said, I want to get together and I want to unify this country. And I actually I think he believes it. I really do. But you've got right behind him, as he's saying he wants unity, he's got Pelosi and Schumer delivering the articles of impeachment to the Senate to try to continue to impeach a president that's no longer in office anymore. And to me, it's just absolutely ridiculous that they're still doing that. And I believe that, you know, probably Biden wants to unify us, but the Democrats, in my opinion, right now have a different definition
Love you, Chuck.
of what unity is. Unity equals conformity. You know, let's see. F you, Eric. I'm a good troll. Nah, hey Chuck, that's
that's not the real Chuck from Chuck and Billy's, not your cup of tea, but
I'll leave it up to my administrators, Dina, Joe, and Eric. If you guys are
Mr. T and Mr. A, of course,
feel free to block people if you feel the need. I did see one comment that I thought was very inappropriate, and
I blocked that one already.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you know, if you're going to come into my show, you can be funny and joke around, but when you start making comments about people that come into my show and you're being disrespectful, at that point we got to dump you. So I apologize, you know, for banning. But when you start offending good people on this and making disgusting comments, then you will be blocked from the show. So, you know, we can all have fun, but you don't need to be disrespectful in that way. So anyway,
John, you like history, correct?
I do, very much so. Big history guy.
Aristotle.
Okay, yes.
You know Aristotle.
Cool. I do. Yes.
Each of the what his quotes is each of the three dramatic principles requiring limitation of the supposed time it was of drama that occupied in acting it to for a unity of times. I'm trying to remember all of it. It was like a unity of a place or a season of us having the same public opinion and how it's changed because of the media and how it can make people have an illusion of Biden having so many supporters. Who is to tell us different? Do we actually know anybody who's is there an overwhelming amount of people that we know in our lives, daily lives, that have supported, or that you can? I don't know, man. It's crazy. But the Aristotle's Poetics on his about 3 dramatic principles,
right, on
how limited unity can be. It's like an act or like us unifying together can only last so long because we can be divided. No longer united, obviously. And
as I've said many times, I mean, the powers that be, and before I get into the statement, I'll just make it clear, Dina Joe is my friend. Off limits. So anytime any comments like that come in about Dina Joe, that person needs to be blocked. That's completely not acceptable. Dina Joe is one of the most wonderful people that I've ever met through Podbean. Dina Joe goes out of her way. I mean, this is a woman I've never met before. This is a woman that goes out of her way to write inspirational cards to my children to tell them how special they are. She is an amazing woman. And for anybody that comes in here and has to make negative comments about Dina Joe, yes, it's a free country. You can come in and do that if you like, but it makes you look foolish, and you are bullying a woman who is an amazing human being and an amazing soul. So,
love you, Dina.
You can come in and comments and say whatever if you want, but just, don't be respectful to Dina Joe. She's a good person. So taking that, out a step further, I mean, it's so true, in this country, we're divided. The rich want us to be divided. The rich are getting what they want. Sun Tzu, the art of war, divide and conquer. They're successful. They've conquered us. They've divided us. And we need to be smarter than them as a people because we're allowing it to happen. And we are allowing it to happen. Hey, you were just talking about history, something kind of cool that I'm waiting for very soon. I'm super excited about this. I'm a person that collects a lot of different things. I collect sports memorabilia. I have a nice collection of autographed baseballs, autographed basketballs, footballs, a big collection of old baseball cards. I collect a movie paraphernalia, and I just won on an auction. I got a really good price on it, actually. I was surprised. I won a parade flag, a little small parade flag with the wooden handle still intact. It was the Civil War era parade flag. So I won that in an auction.
What?
To me now, is that cool or what? I mean, it's really worn. It's really old.
Who held that? Or who put it, where was it? Where was it going by in that time in history? Did it witness George Washington walking by, or not George Washington, Lincoln, or
I mean, a little kid was probably holding this flag. It was in someone's house, so I ended up winning that on an auction. And when I get that, I'm going to put it in a frame and put it right above in our family room in the framed glass. This parade flag from the Civil War. I mean, to me, that's just an amazing piece.
You value. Oh, that has no value to it. That's something that's to you. It's unique because it's one of a kind. It's just that has the passion about history, learning from it, and understanding where we came, where we once were, and how it became that way. But it was for a time, yes, divided. Can be for a short time, but if we let it divide for so long, the gap will be too wide, where the bridge, won't be able to. Who knows? I mean, we can do anything if we can assemble the nation for wars to just this massive effort on a scale unfathomable to on the Pacific and against the Europeans, and just to build these massive ships at the speeds and quality. I mean, we can do anything if we're in one cause, one fight. We can do anything. We just gotta keep
We have to do everything we can. We have to do everything we can to make sure that our country is not stolen from us. And I think that's why we saw the big uprising with the Trump supporters, those evil rednecks that they keep telling us about. I guess I'm one of them. Those uneducated morons, people like me that, has a college degree, people like my wife that has her doctorate degree, these stupid people who believe in Trump and were brainwashed. Actually what we saw with Trump and what we liked about Trump is a man that came on and spoke to us honestly. He let us know that the people were at the first, the front and foremost of his agenda. He was coming out to help the American people. He was in our corner.
Goosebumps.
That was the first time we've seen that in so many years. Now, I don't know about all of you. I've gotten so tired over the years of seeing the president, pardoning the Thanksgiving Day turkey and taking a photo op with this person and doing that and doing this, all these stupid things that mean nothing. And it's all this big facade that the government creates so we all feel comfortable. We all feel safe. We all keep buying where they're selling us. In the meantime, they're stealing the power. They're stealing the control. They're making billions from China. They're doing all these different things, and they just don't want us to look. They don't want us to see it. So for me, Trump was finally that guy that came out and told the American people like it was. And maybe you didn't like the way he delivered it. I mean, he said a lot of inappropriate things, but Trump was the guy. You always felt like he was telling you the truth, and you don't get that sense from people like Joe Biden. And I don't mean to pick Joe Biden, but it's people like Joe Biden that they'll tell you whatever they want to tell you, and then they do what they want once they're in office. If you look back at the things that Donald J. Trump promised us when he was elected president, he literally went down the list and checked off the boxes and did the things he said he was going to do, and he did them. I'm going to build the wall. He started that. Check. I'm going to cut back on illegal immigration. Check. He went down the line and fulfilled his campaign promises. And I'd like to have anybody in here tell me who was the last president they remember actually doing something like that. And the whole time he did it, he wasn't getting paid. He wasn't getting paid. He wasn't taking a salary. And I get it.
He showed what we are capable of, what his position is. Yeah, what he can do in his position that was so desensitized and trying to be absorbed by the other branches that would have just become irrelevant. That the presidency would have ended up becoming just a symbol in a sense. That the power would have been lost due to public opinion, and that's what they're at war with, our thoughts and how we interpret. Once we knew as truths that you have that fire inside of you that is true, and no one's going to tell you it's not there because it is. Right. Everyone echoes it, but doesn't speak out. And that's, we're sparking or reigniting the flames that we have built inside of us because it's beautiful, man. We're going to have resistance, just like air to an airplane. It needs that resistance. Boats on water need the friction of waves, but it creates momentum and it's able to do what it's designed to do. And America has a structured constitution, declarations and decrees that are as a council of the men and women come together and agreeing to freely be free to worship God or not worship a God, to this or that, but unified. They're trying to desensitize us. Concentrate our minds.
That's what the Democrats are trying to do right now. The impeachment, what that is the impeachment is to scare America. And the fact that they're prosecuting the people who were supposedly part of the riotous insurrection where people were welcomed into the State House by officers waving them in, by prosecuting those people, you're scaring the American public and letting the American public know that if you rise up against us, and if you are one of those Trump radicals who are actually patriots who are looking to stand up for their country, if you're one of those people, you're going to pay the price. So get down back in your hole, go to work, pay your taxes, live as a good American, and you better damn well conform to what we want you to conform to. And if you don't do it, you're going to be punished. You're going to be punished. We want you to be afraid.
Give me liberty.
Yep.
Or give me
That's what they want.
death.
They want us to be afraid. And I've got bad news for Nancy Pelosi. I've got bad news for, what's his name? Schumer. I've got bad news.
Mitch McConnell.
I've got bad news. I've got bad news for all of them. I get bad news for Mark Zuckerberg. I've got bad news for Twitter.
Where is their allegiance? Who do they beholden to?
Let me be clear. I'm going to straighten out my microphone. Okay, it's nice and straight now. To all of you, when you're trying to scare me, let me be clear. Fuck you. All right? Fuck you. That's where I stand. You will not put the fear of God in me. You will not make me afraid to stand up for my freedom. You will not tell me that I am not allowed to speak the way I want to speak. You are not going to take away my rights. We have a constitution in this country for a reason, and I will not be quieted. I will not allow you to make me afraid, and it's not going to happen. Now, as we've said from day one on the show, violence, thank you. Violence is never the answer. Violence is never the answer. Violence is not okay. Violence is not allowed. If violence happened as part of the insurrection on the Capitol House, then I'm sorry, it's condemned. Violence over the summer with the Black Lives Matter rallies, the Antifa rallies, I'm sorry, but that needs to be condemned. And what we saw from these politicians during the summer is they encouraged, they told people to continue to burn down our cities, continue to riot, continue to loot, make sure you make a statement. So we've got these politicians on the left that encourage violence every step of the way, but now they're the same people that are telling us that, you know what? When the right does it, you're evil. You're a redneck. You're a Trump supporter. You're this, you're that, and it's not right. It's not right. So, American people, whether you're on the left, whether you're on the right, you can't be afraid. If you're on the left and you don't care that Facebook and Twitter are banning people, you should care. If you're on the left and you don't care that Amazon Web Services cut Parler from their platform and you don't care, you should care, because eventually that censorship, boat or yacht or whatever it is going to come after you. They're going to come after you. They're going to take away your freedom. So right now you might be sitting back and laughing and saying, hey, you know what? Fuck Trump. They got him. They're disbanding those Trump animals, all those loyalists, those rednecks, those ignorant people in this country. Trump doesn't deserve to be on Facebook, doesn't deserve to be on Twitter. Parler shouldn't be in existence. Okay, keep thinking that, because eventually the scales are going to go the other way and you're going to lose your freedoms also.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think what people, fail to realize is, eventually, those, that go after people who don't agree with them at one point or another, they're going to wind up ultimately turning on each other, and they're going to go after each other like there's no tomorrow.
No, it's true. And again, everyone that's here that's new, I'm sure, I guess Bard's show must have just ended because I had like a outpouring of people jumping on the show. So for those new people that listen to Bard, I'm no Bards. I'm just John DeVito doing the best I can do. But what we need to understand as the American people is we cannot continue to let the country or the government dictate to us the way this country is going to be run. And we can't do it with violence. Violence is not the way to go about it. If you disagree with the way this country is being run for office, get into Congress, run for the House, run for the Senate. I know that Jeremy from Cummings' Culture is planning on running in Alabama. If you don't agree with the way things are going in the country, get on and run and make a change yourself. If you want term limits in this country, if you want to see our dictator politicians limited to 1 and 2 terms, let's push for term limits. Let's get everybody together in this country and let's demand that everybody has term limits, because again, it's not going to completely solve the problem. But if you get these people out, if you get these dictators out in 1 term or 2 terms, then you got fresh blood coming in and you're constantly going to have people turning over. And people say now, well, you can always just vote them out. You're not going to vote them out. I mean, California will never vote out Pelosi. My state of Massachusetts, they're never going to vote out Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, the hero of Massachusetts, who wants to eliminate student debt. And you know why she wants to eliminate student debt? Because she lied, saying that she was Native American, so she could get a plum job at Harvard University teaching 1 course at $400,000 a year. Imagine that. I'd like to have that job. I'd like to make $400,000.
How much?
Oh yeah, Elizabeth Warren teaches at Harvard. She's a Harvard professor, and she earns $400,000 a year to teach 1 college course at Harvard. And then she comes out and lectures all of us about eliminating student debt. Well, you know what? Liz? If you weren't charging $400,000 to teach one class, maybe we wouldn't have people $300,000 in the hole for a bachelor's degree. They can't make $30,000 a year. Maybe you're part of the problem.
Exactly.
You know,
what kind of money is that supporting? She has some kind of supernatural power to make someone just understand the subject she's teaching. That's crazy amount of money. That's
crazy.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy to teach one class. But then to complain that college students are in debt. Well, there's a reason why Harvard is $85,000 a year. That's because people like her make $400,000 a year to teach one class, So it is what it is, and it drives me crazy. I think what drives the American people crazy is when you have things like, okay, this is one of the things. When you have Joe Biden come out and he signs the federal ban to say that you need to wear a mask in every federal building, and then 3 hours later he's given a speech in a federal building without a mask on. When you see
how powerful fear can be if wielded the right way, or not right, or the subversive way to manipulate for your outcome, for your way, your power. It's unbelievable, the power of fear, the illusion that media has such power to shape our opinions. So our sources are getting us to that level. You're a branch, or not a branch, you're a separate on its own, being able to negate that, to challenge that their truth with our truths that are, their truths are lies, obviously, it's silly, man.
And you just talked about fear. Let me touch on fear for a second, because I've actually done podcasts on fear and fear alone. To me, fear is the biggest reason in this world why people don't succeed in life. And when I say that, I mean it, because when you have fear in your body, when you have fear from your childhood, when you have fear from, maybe you have a learning disability, maybe your parents weren't good people, you just fear in your body, it's impossible for you to succeed. You can't succeed because people who are fearful will do anything to avoid the truth of their worry about failure coming forward. So when you're afraid to fail, when you're afraid to be punished, when you're afraid of anything, you are paralyzed. And I've always said that one of my favorite quotes in the history of quotes, I think it was Mark Twain, I'm not sure who actually said this, but my favorite quote is, "Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of fear." And I literally say that to myself when I'm in a scary situation where I'm afraid, because courage isn't the absence of fear. Everybody's afraid. Tom Brady, when he gets into the Super Bowl and he has to march down the field, he's afraid. Donald Trump, when he gives up and gives a speech, I'm sure he's nervous sometimes. Maybe they won't be accepted well. Everybody has fears in their body, but it's the way you deal with your fears. If you can control your fear, if you can master your fear and make your fear work for you, then nobody can control you and nobody can tell you that you can't succeed. It's very powerful to be able to, and it's hard to do. I mean, it's hard. I don't always win the battle. I lose the battle.
I'm terrified to talk. I'm terrified to speak in front of groups of people. It was the most paralyzing. It was bad. I was the worst at fear. Had a control over me of talking, of people's perception, and I was so afraid to talk. I was paralyzed. And I said, you know what? Listen, I'm going to face this fear because I'm tired of being in prison. I went and was confident enough to get up on stage and speak in front of 60 people, and did it without a problem. It was the biggest lie. I faced that mountain and it became a little anthill. And I'm like, this is what I was afraid of. I mean, it's a big lie. Fear is a lie. The absence of truth. And it's a lie. Face that lie. Fear, get in its face.
It's a powerful
and
lie.
Look down.
It's a powerful lie, though.
You're a little me. What are you? No. See ya. I'm going past you. Not today.
I mean, that's what I try to do. When I'm afraid of something, I always try to do it. One thing I will probably never do, unless I have to, jump on an airplane. That's one fear. I'll stay on because a parachute on my back and jumping out of an airplane unless that plane's going down and I don't have a choice. So that's one fear that I'm not going to do. But
Forget it, you know.
I try to go after those things head on. Fear ruins dreams. It ruins dreams. It ruins lives, and it takes away your freedom. It really does. You know, and I don't know what else to say about that.
Takes your voice.
It does.
Keeps you silent.
Well, that's what they want right now. They don't want right now the left, and if you call them the left, or maybe that's not even really an appropriate way to look at them. It's the left, but really above the left is the powerful people that control, and they control the left and the right. They control everything. So they want to make sure that all of us little soldiers shut our mouths and we never dare question authority again. Because if we start questioning authority, we're going to be punished. Remember that, people. We're going to punish you. Look at what we're doing with that insurrection that happened. But when it benefits them, you know, they didn't mind going out and destroying cities and burning down cities and taking over cities when it was something that they wanted to push. But when it's something that they
understand your enemy,
they punish. Yeah,
they have to. Yeah. Understanding them.
You have to.
Right.
All right, listen, I've got to end now, because I need to make French toast for my children. That's the professional podcast. So if anyone wants
this has been a great show and great conversation today.
Yeah.
Oh, Elgato's coming back. So we're going to have Elgato come back in. Elgato, welcome to the show.
Is he going to sing the best song at the end?
You going to sing for us, Elgato?
I love the cat.
Oh, maybe, I don't know, but I'm going to say this. Yeah. You said that a bunch of people from Bards FM came in here after they left the show.
Yes.
There was an insurrection in here. No, I'm sorry.
So I said it was like when they leave church and they go to a buffet afterwards, and your show's like a buffet. But
there's the real Chuck and Billy's not your cup of tea.
Hey, Chuck and Billy,
they got some food for thought.
But then I said, what kind of restaurant would John DeVito show be, right? And I said, would it be Hometown Buffet? And Mr. A had the best line. He said, no, it would be a hot wings place, but he would only serve right wings.
Oh, I like that. I like that. You're right.
But a bump.
Right. And they have to be boneless because I don't like bones in my chicken. So,
Mr. T, that was brilliant.
Wasn't my joke, but I loved it, so I had to call in.
I love that. Yeah, Chuck, we had a troll in here coming and pretending to be you, so you know you've made it. And then you have trolls coming in and imitating you, Chuck. So I see you coming in.
Am I the only one looking at his cat and just in awe of how wonderful that cat looks? And it looks so grumpy.
And I think Glenn is back.
It's a beautiful cat, right?
That grumpy cat?
Yeah, that's Grumpy Cat, dude. He's awesome.
Oh, that's right. He's without expression, but determined to piss you off one way or another.
Rest in peace, Grumpy Cat. You know what I'm saying?
He did die. There was a national parade.
Yeah.
Now look at that name. Look at the person that came in. The Princess of Dancing Spirits. I kind of like that name. Princess
Who's that?
of Spirits. I don't know. I like the
Dana
name.
Joe?
Here we go again with words. It's our first right, then it's our frontline defense. Our freedom of speech is what's the attack. Words are powerful.
The Princess of Dancing Spirits.
That's crazy.
Now listen,
wow.
We have new background. We have a new background sound for Erik. So Erik, why don't you promote your shows?
I'm good.
I'm gonna.
You don't have to do that.
I'm gonna play the new background music, Erik. So promote the shows coming up, and I'm gonna
promote mine, Erik. I gotta go. Can you promote mine, please? Buddy?
El Gato from the Homeboy 88 podcast. Definitely check him out. And if you're about to go ahead and start singing the bus song, like Mike Tampa Bay, Erik, and John.
All right, here we go. Goodbye, Erik. Goodbye, Tampa. Goodbye, John DeVito. We're glad you rode on the bus with us. See ya.
I love it.
See you at Trice Talk later if you're able to make it.
All right, Erik, why don't you go?
Well, coming up later, coming up this evening, be on the lookout for Chuck and Billy to do their Not Your Cup of Tea comedy podcast. And then at 9:30 Eastern, check out the Slightly Serious show. And then at 11 p.m. Eastern, check out Trice Talk, for Dennis's birthday. And then also be on the lookout for Chris from the VCR 2018 podcast to do impromptu music shows, along with Robert to do his Mr. Clean music show. And tomorrow morning, check out the Ralph Williams podcast starting at 6 a.m. Eastern. Chit Chat with the Old Man starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. And also be on the lookout for Just Another Day in Paradise and Wolf's Real Talk Radio and Cummings' Culture. And then this weekend, be on the lookout for the Old Man's Friday Night, Sunday morning, and Sunday afternoon music shows, Lyrical Laxatives, Tall Tales in the Rabbit Hole, and David's Mysteries of the Paranormal, and Poetics Holy Shift podcast. And we hope to do the John DeVito show again very soon.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably be on again tomorrow, maybe Friday and over the week. I'm kind of feeling in the podcast mood right now.
Well, and we're hoping, John, that you can work on lining up more interviews, like to add to the Get to Know Your Podcaster series. Hopefully you might be working on reaching out to Ace and maybe working on reaching out to Ralph and bands and a few other friends if they're interested in coming on.
I would love to.
And Dan.
But Twitter banned me again. So
well, you'd probably have to contact them through Instagram or email or Discord.
Yeah, I made a rude comment. And honestly, I deserve to be banned. I said something I shouldn't have said. And quite frankly, I did appeal the ban. But when I appealed it, I realized I was wrong. And I should have made the comment about someone's mother. That was inappropriate. So I probably should have said that.
Love you. God bless you, everybody. And we'll see you soon.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming into the show. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining the show, man. And real quick before I let you go, is Brady going to win? I assume you're a Tampa Bay guy. Is Brady going to win?
May the best team win.
Yeah.
May the best team win.
It's going to be a good game. I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. So
I have confidence, but I can't be too confident. Just got to let things happen.
All right, take care, everyone. All right, we'll see you later.
I'll have to see what I can do about that, Mr. A, but I'll go ahead and screenshot that.
All right, guys, take care now. Mr. T. Where's my music? Oh, there it is. I just pushed the button. There we go. All right, later, everybody. Take care now.
Good talking to you.
All right. Oh, I thought it was that girl moaning. Abu Kappa. Mr. T. What did T stand for, Mr. T, anyways? I'm curious.
I think his name, we call him T-Bone. See you, Just Duck. See you, Mr. T. See you, Mr. A. Bye-bye. See you, Dean Joe. See you, Mike. Bye, John.